deciding about whether the outside of the walls, what is that? What is outside of the walls, right? Like, I don't know. I've just got a script and there's walls. It's like, it could be anything. It could be another like environment. It could be dark or it could be light, right? We were leaning towards the light, but the question of how on earth do we like make a white world outside? Like, how on earth do we do that? Was hard. Like, that was hard. Like, on a tiny budget, like, we're students, like, you know, a couple thousand, you know? And so how do we do that? And there came a point where I was like, okay, I'm willing, if it comes down to it, I'm willing to sacrifice the white background for a black one. If it comes down to it, if I have to cut the corners. And Gon was like, shut up.
This guy's not good.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. It's like, and you said that if it was a black background, then it would seem theatrical, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like yeah, you're so right. It's like ever since you said that, it was like no balls, like straight in.
I just knew that, you know, we would be able to find a way technically on very low budget, and like after so much research, so long, I finally realized that the best way, the cheapest way, was actually to use the photography papers from the university that they had for free, and then we just put them on a big pole, all lined up, you know, blast a bunch of light into it, and with the reflection it creates that look. So
we were in
pretty cheap.
Sambor's living room for ages. You guys was moving things around, sketching, like getting the measurements right of G12 and like, you know, transferring that. I mean, Jack made us a little cardboard cutout thing, and you guys, I was sat there for ages just listening to you guys talk about, you know, exactly where everything's got to go. And, you know, I mean, the outside of the walls was actually proved to be more complicated than the walls themselves in the end.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That came as a shock to me.
Yeah.
That was shocking. Yeah, we spent literally months trying to figure out that problem. Like, for the outside of the walls, we some of the options I went through and we tested. We did like 7 previous shoots, test shoots. Yeah, like so, there were so many elements technologically of this world that we had to test out to make sure they work. And thank God that we did.
Yeah.
It's like we tested out. You know, what if we shoot light from behind a silk? But there's no space for that. There's not enough silk, right? What if we have, you know, a big white curtain, but those were too expensive, to get something that big. We were like, okay, maybe we'll use green screen. Felix tested green screen.
It looks
nah. So ultimately, like Don said, photography paper, but huge rig with this was it like 7 meter rig?
Yeah, and it wasn't.
Describe it.
And it wasn't long enough, and also, we used all the most powerful lights in the entire university, to light this white background, and it wasn't enough to light it up all the way through, because obviously we were trying to literally create a world, an infinite world in this studio, which is not even that big. So with a 7 meter white background.
Doesn't feel that big anymore.
Yeah.
When I was checking out this university, I was like, this place is huge.
Yeah, it's not.
Now he's like, this isn't that big.
It's really not big. If we had the budget, the best way to do the white background would have been to have a studio where it's all white, which there's quite a lot in London and stuff.
An infinity room.
Yes, an infinity room, yeah. And obviously we didn't have the budget for it because it's a lot. It's around 500 to 1,000 a day, so it's expensive. So we couldn't do that. And then we thought about a lot of options. I even forgot what all the options were, but there was a lot.
Yeah, silk, green screen.
The silk, the green screen.
Even using more flats.
Yeah.
Having a second shell of white flats.
Oh yeah, one of the ideas was to actually have wooden panels painted white and have them all line up. And we were actually going to go with that idea. Yeah, we were going to go with that idea, and to me that was actually the best option and also budget friendly. But the problem with that was that they had texture because they weren't perfect because uni actually gave them to us, and they had all sorts of bumps on it, and it had to be smooth for it to reflect the light enough with no texture, because otherwise that would ruin the illusion that it's infinity.
Yeah, that was really important for you, the fact that the material needs to bounce light. It needs to be a source of light in of itself.
Well, alongside the first previs that you just spoke about, we had the sizzle reel as well, which I think was just as integral in kind of communicating the vibe that you wanted to the film to possess?